Dear learners, I am Professor R. Swarnalatha from the Department of Management Sciences, PhD College of Arts and Science, Coimbatore. Welcome to the session on internal and external appraisal in strategic management. Hope you are all familiar with the meaning of the terms strategy, strategic management and strategic management process dealt in our earlier module. To recap, strategy is goal-directed, long-term plan of action meant to fulfill organizational goals and objectives, taking into account the firm's key strengths, weakness, environmental threats and opportunities. Strategic management is the continuous process of examining the business firm and its environment to meet the firm's long-term objectives of adapting and adjusting to its environment through manipulation of opportunities and reduction of threats. Strategic management process is basically the domain of top-level management, and the process involves four basic components: environment scanning or strategic analysis, strategy formulation, strategy implementation, and strategy evaluation and control. Now, let's discuss in detail about the first step in strategic management process, namely the environment scanning. The sweeping changes in the business environment caused by the privatization, liberalization and globalization have made the strategic management concept more important. Technological advancements and managerial competence have initiated drastic changes in business performance. Ground rules of competition change, industry boundaries are withdrawn, established industries are reinvented, and new industries and products are created. Enormous changes in business opportunities and threats as a result of economic liberalization in India have tremendously enhanced the scope of strategic management. Companies have changed their vision on objectives, organization structure, portfolio of business, markets and competitive strategies. Business firms are open systems where internal factors continuously interact with the external environment. Strategic managers must have a clear understanding of the internal and external business environment in which the business firm operates. This scanning and analysis of internal environment or microenvironment is called internal appraisal, and the analysis of external environment or macro environment is called external appraisal. The development of mission and objectives involve analysis and appraisal of environment. The results of internal and external analysis will help the managers to determine what goals and objectives they can or should adopt and the strategic choice that are available. The business firm utilizes the resources like raw materials, manpower, finance, power and other utilities as inputs and transform them into outputs, which is taken to the hands of consumers through marketing intermediaries. This conversion of inputs into output operates under the influence of so many factors in the internal and external environment. The factors in the internal and external environment have a strong influence on the success of the organization, and the management continuously should monitor and analyze the changes that occur in the environmental factors. These factors, forces, conditions, situations, events and relationships over which the organization has little control are referred to collectively as the organization's environment. In general terms, environment can be broken into three broad areas: the internal environment or microenvironment corresponding to employees, managers, union and board directors; the external environment or macro environment corresponding to political, economic, social, technological, legal and ecological factors in the country. The third important component, namely the task or operating environment corresponding to competitors, markets, customers, regulatory agencies and stakeholders. In formulating a strategy, the strategic decision makers must analyze the conditions internal to the organization as well as conditions in the external environment. When you come to talk about the internal environment corresponds to those factors which are within the control of the business firm, like company policy, customers, competitors, suppliers, investors, market intermediaries and so on. The analysis of internal environment or microenvironment or internal audit or internal appraisal focus on identifying and evaluating a firm's strengths and weakness in the functional areas of business, including management, marketing, human resources, research and development, production, finance, information systems and organizational culture. Therefore, management must analyze each of these areas carefully to determine their strengths and weakness so that steps can be taken to reduce the negative effects of any weakness and can enhance their strengths. Importance of internal appraisal. Internal appraisal helps the organization build competition and gain competitive advantage through superior quality, superior efficiency, superior customer service and superior innovation. Internal appraisal helps the organization to develop core competences and gain their competitive advantage. So, now what are core competences? Core competences are a firm's resource and capabilities which give it a distinct advantage over its competitors. Developing the core competencies will create value for their customers. Core competencies are actually a value creating system through which a company tries to achieve strategic competitiveness and positions itself above competition. An internal audit provides important information about an organization's specific assets, skills, work activities and work relationships in order to determine as to what is good about them and what is lacking. Also, there are some factors that contribute to the success of the company. These factors are known as critical success factors. In short, we call them as CSF. Critical success factors are those unique characteristics of an organization which are essential for gaining competitive advantage. For example, the critical success factor of Walmart is everyday low pricing. In short, it's EDLP, and that of Apple is innovation in its products and services. Hence, internal analysis will enable the firm to identify its core competence and critical success factors, which in turn leads to competitive advantage. The assessment of internal analysis is done through three ways. Number one is through SWOT analysis, number two it is through functional analysis, and number three it is through value chain analysis. Now let's talk in detail about the SWOT analysis. SWOT analysis refers to analyzing the strengths, weakness, opportunities and threats. It's an essential strategic planning tool used for formulating feasible strategies for the firm. So, what is the strength for a business firm? Strength is a positive characteristic that adds advantage to the business firm, like its quality products and services, skilled workforce, cost efficiency, high brand image, technical innovations, patents and trademarks, customer loyalty, sound financial resources, strong research and development team and so on. So, what do you mean by weakness for a firm? A weakness is that factor that adds disadvantage to the firm, such as poor leadership, lack of infrastructure, failure to change, poor marketing network, obsolete technology, cost inefficiency, poor customer service, poor product quality, and so on. So after looking into the company's strengths and weakness, now let's discuss what are the company's opportunities and threats. An opportunity is a favorable factor in the external environment which can be used as an advantage to the firm, such as favorable government policy, expansion into new markets, technical advancements, strategic partnerships, removal of trade barriers, and so on. Coming to know what is meant by threat. A threat is a factor in external environment which is not beneficial to the organization, such as entry of low-cost global players into domestic country, high labor cost and labor turnout, availability of substitutes for the product, scarce resources like fuel and utilities, recession in the economy, trade barriers by foreign countries, heavy taxation, shift in customer loyalty, and so on. Therefore, business firm should anticipate such possible threats and design its strategies to drive away these threats. Hence, SWOT analysis involves evaluating the company's internal environment in terms of strengths and weakness, and the external environment in terms of opportunities and threats, and formulating strategies that take advantage of all these factors. Next approach used in internal scanning is functional analysis. Functional analysis is very simple and common method used by all business firms. Competence in key functional areas like human resources, production, research and development, marketing, finance and accounting, information systems, general management, and organizational culture are identified, and strategies are formulated to take advantage of competence available in all functional areas. For example, if the firm has a strong marketing sales force, it plans to use its strategy to use them and gradually expand their business into new markets. If the firm has a strong research and development team, it designs its strategy to make use of their competence and develop new innovative products and services. If the business firm has a strong productive human resources, it formulates its strategy to utilize them efficiently and increase the productivity and efficiency. Therefore, this approach is functional analysis used by the business firms to enhance their performance using the competence of various functional departments. Now, let's see the next approach. It is value chain analysis developed by Michael Porter. It identifies the activities, functions, and business process that have to be performed while designing the strategies for supporting the products and services. It divides the organizational process into distinct activities that creates value for the customer. These value-added activities become a source of competitive advantage for the organization. Value-added activities are broadly classified into two. Number one is the primary activities and number two is the support activities. So what are primary activities? Primary activities in value chain analysis are those that are involved in creation of product or service. Porter has classified these primary activities into inbound logistics, operations, outbound logistics, marketing and sales, and service. Let's go in detail into each component. Inbound logistics. It involves physical movement of things from one place to another. It includes receiving, storing, and distributing various inputs with a purpose to transform them into outputs. Activities related to inbound logistics are transportation, material handling, warehousing, inventory management, and so on. Second activity in primary activity is the operations. Operations include all those activities through which inputs are transformed into outputs which an organization sells. The activities in operations include manufacturing, assembling, testing, packaging, etc. The third activity is the outbound logistics. This outbound logistics is related to finished outputs which are in saleable form. Various activities related to outbound logistics are collecting, storing, preparing delivery schedules, physical distribution, etc. The fourth activity involved in primary activity of value chain analysis is the marketing and sales. Marketing and sales involve inducing the buyers to buy products and converting their intention to buy and then exercising the sales. Various activities involved in this category are advertising and sales promotion, channel selection, managing sales force, fixing price, and so on. The final activity in the primary activity of value chain analysis is the service. Activities related to service aim at creating value to customers and may include various facilities to products such as installation, after sales service, supply of parts, training to customers, and so on. Now, next coming to support activities. What are support activities? Support activities are those that provide support to effective performance of primary activities in the value chain. They provide infrastructure for primary activities and basically allow these activities to take place. These support activities are administration, technology development, and procurement. The first support activity, namely administration, consists of general management in terms of recruitment, hiring, training, skill and career development, labor relations, job enrichment, and so on. The second support activity is technology development. It refers to learning process which improves and enhances the utility of all organizational functions. It relates to such activities such as product and process development, process design and improvement, development of computerized support systems, enterprise resource planning, quality management systems, total productivity management, and innovation of products and services. The third support activity is the procurement. It refers to the total purchase of inputs, raw materials, and spare parts, which would be the part of primary activity. It involves the purchase of materials, equipment, machinery, and related accessories and services needed for the primary function. Examples of the activity includes purchase of computer systems, accessories, sophisticated softwares, communication devices, printing devices, and so on. Therefore, any organization can develop a competitive advantage in any of the primary and support activities in the value chain and enhance the value of their products and services in the firm, thereby satisfying the customers and leading to customer delight. Now, let's move on to the external appraisal. External appraisal refers to the analysis of those factors in the external environment which are uncontrollable by the firm. External environment corresponds to those factors which are outside the purview of the organization and cannot be controlled by the business firm but needs to adjust to it. They are beyond the control of a firm, and the success of the firm depends to a very large extent on its adaptability to the environment. The external environment factors are denoted in the acronym PESL, corresponding to political, economic, socio-cultural, technological, legal, and ecological factor. Now, let's move on in detail into each of the factor. Number one is the political environment. The impact of political environment on industry and business is quite enormous. The economic environment is the result of political environment. Stability and security of the government has significant impact over the business performance. Stable government formulates favorable industrial policy, fiscal policy, monetary policy, tariff policy, and so on to provide better opportunities for business. They play a crucial role as a planner, promoter, and regulator of economy to protect and benefit the business enterprises. Prime Minister Mr. Narendra Modi's Make in India campaign has encouraged domestic industries to develop indigenous technology and promote innovative products and services. Political factors include environmental issues and clearances, business legislation, regulatory bodies and process, government policies and trade policies. All these political factors have an impact on the business performance, and therefore the business firms has to formulate strategy looking into these factors in detail. The second component in external appraisal is the economic environment. Economic forces refer to the nature and direction of the economy in which the business operates. Economic factors have a tremendous impact on business firms. Success and survival of business heavily depends on economic environment, which determines the purchasing power of people. Therefore, the factors of economic environment are to be given serious consideration. Some of the important factors are type of economy, nature of business cycle, economic policy, economic plans, infrastructural development, and economic indices like money supply, disposable personal income, spending pattern, savings rate, GNP, inflation rate, income distribution, balance of payment position, wholesale price index, and interest and exchange rates. So, information related to these economic factors are collected from Center for Monitoring Indian Economy, Reserve Bank of India, National Council for Applied Economic Research, and journals like India Today, Business India, and IndiaTimes.com. Thus, firms have to consider the relevant economic factors suited to their industry while formulating the business strategy. The next important factor in external environment is socio-cultural environment. It consists of culture, traditions, beliefs, attitude, opinion, values, and lifestyles of people in the firm's external environment. They influence the spending pattern and consumer buying behavior. Lifestyle trends, demographics, consumer attitudes, consumer buying patterns, brand image, company goodwill, ethnic and religious factors influence the business performance. Social changes happen due to the growing young population, strong impact of media, exposure to foreign products, industrialization, quick communication, social networking culture, global mobility of population, women empowerment, and multicultural diversity. Increase in the standard of living and concern for quality of work life has a direct influence over the performance of business concern. Assessing the changing social values, attitudes, and demographic characteristics of an organization's customers is an essential element in establishing organizational objectives and formulating a strategy. The next important component in external appraisal is analyzing the technological environment. Advancements in technology like web services, robotics, e-business solutions, nanotechnology, mobile applications, and so on has created a great impact in business performance in terms of improved products, improved production technology, usage of new raw materials, and new product development. Technological advancements enhance the production efficiency, maintains the delivery schedule, reduces the cost of production, and cuts down manufacturing lead time. So, some of the factors which operate in technological environment are sources of technology such as indigenous research and development, foreign collaborations and technical know-how, technology development, rate of change of technology, stages of technical development, communication technology, and infrastructural development. So, therefore, technological advancements must be given serious concern while formulating the strategy by the business firm. The fifth important component is the legal or regulatory environment. Business firm operates within the framework of the prevailing legal environment. They are supposed to be aware of legal rules and regulations concerning licensing, foreign investment, price control, distribution of goods, import and export documentation, public sector disinvestments, small scale industrial regulations, consumer protection rights, environmental protection measures, various environmental clearances for industries, corporate social responsibility initiatives, and so on. Some of the legislations influencing business performance are Industrial Licensing Policy, Consumer Protection Act, Labour legislations, Information Technology Act, Foreign Direct Investments, Indian Companies Act, Workers' Compensation and Working Conditions, Energy Conservation, and Waste Management Practices. Additionally, the business enterprises are in the need to know the procedures, rules, regulations, clearances and systems essential for managing the business successfully. The last component in external appraisal is analyzing the ecological environment. Geographical and ecological factors such as natural resources availability, climatic and weather conditions, topographical factors, eco-friendly practices, environment protection measures, energy conservation measures, waste recycling practices, pollution control mechanisms, and so on influence the business performance. Therefore, any business should be aware of the political, economic, socio-cultural, technological, regulatory or legal, and ecological or natural environmental factors to improve its financial and business performance in its business operations. Yet another important factor that is to be given serious consideration in formulating the strategy is the demographic environment. It is age of the customers, family size, income of the family, place of residence, nature of family, number of family members, religion, educational level, nature of work, which have a great impact on business performance and profitability of the firms. Now coming to the third major environmental factor is the task environment. Task environment refers to those industry elements or factors which are external to the company but have a direct and specific impact upon the organization and are in turn affected by the organization's operation. These factors determine the nature and strength of the competition in the industry. Task environment is a set of conditions originating from suppliers, distributors, customers, stock markets, and competitors which directly affects the organization from achieving its goal. Factors responsible for task environment are competitors, customers, suppliers, distributors, and availability of substitutes. Coming to the first factor, competitor. Competitors generally look for higher margins, and for this they provide unique features to its products, thus creating differentiation. The second factor in task environment is the customers. Organizations also compete for customers as well as for wholesalers, retailers, etc. Customers decide the fate of any company, and hence companies try their level best to attract them. The third important factor in task environment is the suppliers. Suppliers have high bargaining power if the raw materials being supplied are rare or if there are less number of suppliers in the market. So it's very important for the business firm to hold on to the suppliers and maintain good relationship with them. Acting intelligently, companies often maintain more number of suppliers to reduce the risk of deserting by anyone. The fourth important component in task environment is the distributor. Distributor who become intermediary between retailers and wholesalers or between manufacturer and wholesaler play a vital role in the task environment. The fifth factor in the task environment is the availability of substitutes. Substitutes are alternative products that satisfy similar consumer needs. Cost advantage, high demand for products, technological advancements, so on has led to the growing number of substitutes in the market. Firms that ignore to take note of substitutes will tend to lose their market share and demand in the market. Therefore, a business firm needs to analyze the microenvironment, macroenvironment, and task environment factors to formulate mission, objectives, and strategies for successful business performance. To sum up, a business firm needs to analyze its internal, external and task environment to take note of resources position and competence before formulating its strategies. Hope you have followed this lesson. Thank you and see you in the next module. Thank you.